The PL Show is brought to you by Kel Chaco, Kel 360, and Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Hello there, I'm glad you're spending your Sunday with us. This is the PL Show and my name is Keminni Amanor. Today on the program, we'll be talking to a phenomenal lady who's made her mark in the food and beverages and hospitality industry. She's currently the Dean of the School of Applied Sciences at the Cape Coast Technical University. And trust me when I tell you, she has a phenomenal story to share with us. The PL Show is brought to you by the Kel Toothpaste brands, Kel 360, Kel Chaco, and Kel Kids. Kel, happy smile. My costume is kind courtesy Hilly's Boutique in Jowolu. Go to her for exquisite clothing and you will not regret it. Now, the PL Show will return shortly with one of the best stories you have ever heard. Stay with us.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe. Ah. Yum.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
So who are we talking today? We're talking to this phenomenal lady who's made a major impact in the hospitality industry. She's now the Dean of Applied Sciences at the Cape Coast Technical University. Let's welcome Professor Rita Elsie Sanful. You're welcome, Prof. And we don't call you professor for just anything. There's a reason you're called professor. I will go into that. But first, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So where does your story start from?
I was born to an educationist and a nurse in Accra. And we went through quite a number of places because my father was a headmaster, so we traveled around a lot. Finally, we settled in Accra and I went to school at Ola Boarding, Elmina. From there to Holy Child School, Cape Coast.
Which year was this?
83.
Wow. And right after that, you went to...
Accra Polytechnic.
Yes.
From there, I did 5 years catering education and completed in 89. Went on to Tamale Polytechnic to do my national service for 3 years. Then went to Obuasi. I was part of the group that started Enyinem Lodge in Obuasi now. Then after that, I thought I wanted to be more in the educational sector.
Yeah.
So then somewhere along the line, I was just within the GES setup. I went on to do my education. You know, you need to have education, the certificate in education before you can teach. So I went to Kumasi. Okay. That was the Winneba. The Kumasi is the campus for the, yeah. And then 1 year certificate after that, I went to the then Cape Coast Polytechnic.
So in 1983, when you got your O-level certificate from Holy Child, it was the same time that Ghana experienced one of its toughest economic moments. What was it like for you as a teenager, I believe?
It was a little strenuous because we're in the boarding school. In going to school, you need to go and queue practically for Gary.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody will have to call you, there's Gary here, then we have to run to go and queue for it and all that. It wasn't easy. That was when I learnt of kako. It's not this kako that you know now. It was a rubber-like something. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But
and what did you use that for?
The kako, they use it in school to cook for us with those their flour kind of thing. But I must say for us at Holy Child School, we're slightly lucky because we're in a Catholic school and the Catholic brought aid to us.
Imported food.
So in school, I think it would have been better in school for you than when you are out in the
On
house.
vacations. I'm sure you dreaded coming home for vacation.
Not that much. My father was a headmaster, so within the High School, they were able to. They were bringing them food as well. So of course, but it wasn't easy, I must say.
Let's first talk about why you chose to go into catering after your O levels. What was it about that career or vocation that attracted you?
I was fascinated with food, cooking food and decorating, most especially with cake decorating. Yeah, that was what attracted me. In fact, initially I wanted to do law, so all my courses I picked were religious studies and history and all that kind of thing. I did sixth form for a year at Accra High School, and I decided no. I wanted to enter into the hospitality industry, so I left for Accra Polytechnic. I think that was it. I was fascinated with dealing with foods, doing things with them. That is one strong thing.
So did you ever practice cooking for events and things like that?
Oh, I did. For a while, I did. I even went ahead to learn sugar craft from cake techniques. I did all that. I can do wedding cakes and all that, but it's just now.
You have taken a break on that.
It's too tiresome.
It is. We'll learn more about that break that you took. In between that, did you work as a lodge manager?
That was after my service.
Right.
At a Uninem Lodge, I was a service manager in charge of accommodation and the restaurants. But at the stage, it was too much, so they had to divide it into two for the housekeeping to be kept aside and that. I worked there for about 8 months, and then I left, and then I went on to education.
How did it feel like for a girl who had been, I mean, at the time, you had been in Adabraka for a while, and then you were all the way in your name now. That transition, how did that feel?
That
like?
one wasn't too overwhelming, like moving from Accra to Tamale. And I had to leave on my own, look for a vehicle to move there, go and live in Tamale for 2 years. That was more overwhelming. It was after that, the service, that I moved to Inyinem Lodge. It was just like from Accra there. So it was okay for me.
Tell us about some of the adjustments you had to make back then when you went to Tamale.
The weather. When it's hot, even when you put on the fan, it blows hot air. You want to come out to go out, and there's an aura over there. You want to hit out, and it's like going. There was practically where education rage at Tamale. That was where you have all the schools, Tamale Secondary, Baga, and all those things. You walk practically, your legs and everything is dusty, But I must say I enjoyed it.
Let's talk about the fun moments. I paused because I'm thinking, oh, all that heat, she still enjoyed it.
Because I'm adventurous. So even at a stage, my father wanted to work it out and change my service. I said, no, I'll go.
Something must have kept you there. What?
I like the place. I thought it was fun to be out of Accra for some time.
That's why
and I told you I'm interested in foods.
Yes.
I like the indigenous crops and things. I like to discover them. Oh, this one exists. So in Tamale, you get a lot of them there. Leafy green vegetables, the legumes, the beans, all kinds of beans. Do you know that there is a bean that grows beneath the ground?
I had no
Instead of the pods coming out, it goes, yeah.
What is it called?
It's also beans. I'm sure you've eaten some before, but you
don't
know.
That's so sad.
So for me, that is what keeps me in the place when I discover all the foods. Oh, okay, these things are there. And our kids do not know them. They don't know them. Everybody is after French fries and whatever have you. And practically, if you are not careful, very soon, our foods will be out.
You also did have some industrial experience with the Accra Brewery.
Yes, in school.
While you were in school?
In school.
Share that brewery experience with us.
It was interesting. You know what was interesting about it?
Tell me.
You know, when you work there, you can drink as much as you want.
Oh,
but you can't take it out. And our students would go with empty bottles and then would take the beer, not the beer. I don't drink alcohol, but we take the minerals and whatever. You put them in our bags, and they search us. So I think one of our friends who was there, somebody who became our friend, watch her one day, would keep the phone and said, you people, you were damn lucky. They would have caught you. That was a sight same thing. But we learned a lot because you needed to learn about the corporate industry. We have the industrial catering, you have the, what do you call it, welfare. You know, we have welfare and others. And so you must learn about all of them. That is what took us to Accra for 8 weeks.
Talk to us about what it was like growing up as the daughter of a teacher and Ines.
You can imagine. My mom was a very strict one. I just buried her in December. It's not even a year ago. They're very strict.
Accept our condolences.
Thank you. Very strict. Very, very strict. We named her the Tigress. Whenever she comes and she sees dirty hair, she's up again. A gun woman, she will scream at you. And my father was the calmer one. He never beat us, but when he speaks one word, you are sure to go to bed.
There's a more to Prof than you have just heard. You want to stay with us and hear the rest of the story. But first, let's take a look at what her life was like growing up in this clip that's coming up in our Seed to Oak segment. You were such a cute baby. I tell you. I mean, those pictures are black and white.
Yeah.
But I can still see how beautiful that.
Thank you.
Beautiful a child you were. Wow.
Thank you.
How old were you in the single picture with you were wearing this hat or something?
I think I was 3 years old.
3 years old. So pretty. The Seed to Oak segment is brought to you by Kel Kit. The toothpaste Kel Kit is very suitable for your 2 to 6 year olds. It comes in the strawberry flavor. It gives your children gum protection and anti-cavity protection. The product is FDA approved, and so you can rely on its quality for your kids. Get it for your children. So let's talk about 3-year-old Rita.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what they called you at home? Did you have a different name at home?
Yeah.
Okay, what was it?
Nana.
Nana. Let's talk about 3-year-old Nana.
I think I was a quiet type. I was a quiet type. And normal. But I was the kind that would cry. Instead of fighting, I would always cry. And it was like, do it. I mean, if somebody doesn't, go ahead and do it. And I was like, no. Yeah, that kind of, but I can talk to. Even though I was quiet when everybody's around, but when I'm there with those who are close to me, my God, I'm a talkative.
You started off as an instructor. Talk to us about the beginning of your journey or the beginning of your life as an educator.
I had a stint with GES a little bit, going around some of the schools. I can clearly remember Ministry of Health, Primary and JSS. That is a school that was basically for nurses, the children of nurses and doctors at Kolebu, because my mother was then at Kolebu. So for 2 years or so, I had already done 1 year elsewhere. So I went in to do my education. I always wanted to move into the tertiary institution. I didn't think I belonged to I couldn't do much with the JSS kind of thing. So when I went to do education, there was a friend who I met at Tamale who was there. So sent a message across to me that, look, we are doing recruitment. So I applied and I went on. To my shock, when I got there, October 96, Cape Coast Polytechnic, there was no catering department. There was nothing. I was shocked. I wanted to leave. What is this? They say, we are bringing you here for you to start. So I had to stay there for 3 years, behaving like an errand girl. When they have council meetings, I served tears. I wanted to leave. And then Mr. Marfo, who is now Professor Marfo at UCC, was then the vice principal of the school and said, don't go. Don't go, you hold on. You've been here for 3 years, hold on. So I just kept quiet and I was there. When I was getting bored, I said, look, I wanted to go and do something with my life. So I asked for permission to go and do cake decorating and cake techniques. Yeah, I left. So when I came back, they had done this building. So I ensured that they're fixing a place for kitchen and all that. I went to Whole Polytechnic to look at the way their kitchen was for them to design one for us and do that. We took in our first students. Then I had the scholarship to go to South Africa to do my BTech.
At this point, how much time had you spent waiting and advising on the
3 years or more.
3
3 years and some months.
Right. And so then you went to South Africa. What kind of education did you go and get there?
I went in for the BTech, Bachelor's in Technology, for food service training. So I did that for 1 year and then I had the bachelor's. Then the polytechnics had just been upgraded to tertiary level and in the country, you couldn't get higher programs for fashion and catering.
So they
had
didn't
to
know where to place you.
Yeah, so they had to take us out before you be able to teach in the tertiary institution. Yeah, even that time you need to have a first degree, but now you need to have a PhD before you can do that. Yeah, so we went in there. We were not able to do the masters. We came in. So just as we came back, within 7 months, I had another scholarship, and I went to Hotel School Den Haag in the Netherlands to do my masters, and then I came back.
Let's see what a typical day is like in your life in the segment we call 360. Take a look.
When Professor Rita Elsie Sanful was first employed at the then Cape Coast Polytechnic, the institution had no facility for the catering department. Though she wanted to leave at that time, she still stayed on to see the establishment of the now hospitality department of the Cape Coast Technical University. She has PhD in Food Science and Technology from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
You were the first female
professor
at Cape Coast Technical University. That must be really big for you, isn't it?
I think so, and I believe so.
The 360 segment is brought to you by Kel 360 toothpaste. It would give you brighter teeth, it would give you anti-cavity protection, and also fresh breath. This product is approved by the FDA. You can always rely on its quality. I told you earlier there is a lot more to hear and learn about Professor Sanful, and we'll catch a lot more of her story when we come back. This is the PL Show. Stay with us.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel Kids.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. It makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids. Happy smile.
Welcome back to the PL Show. Today on the program, we have been speaking with Professor Rita Elsie Sanful. She has told us stories that are not just interesting, but that also inspire us to do better for ourselves. Professor, and I'm not kidding about that. I am not. So thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you for having me too.
You know, at some point in people's lives, they think that it's okay, you know, the education, it's enough, like I am right now. But what kept you going to want to go and get a PhD?
For me, I'm someone who wants to get to the highest. If there is the highest, then I must get it.
And you think that's what's pushed you?
That's what pushed me. And I also believe that sometimes I do things for myself and not because I want to get somewhere. I want to satisfy myself that is what I want to do. That is why right after Accra Polytechnic, I didn't sit there because I just had an ordinary diploma. Then I could also see that the future of the Polytechnic was going to be something else, just like the traditional university, and you could not sit there with a master's. So I was looking ahead as well, and I knew that time was going to come when they were going to say that you needed a PhD.
Was it easy?
It wasn't, because I took on a program that was out of my league. Food science and technology was completely out of hospitality. The connection was that you do catering, you cook food, so you may need to understand the chemistry of food. But here was I in Kwame Nkrumah, the food science department. I have never done food science in first degree, no second degree. I had to go and audit courses, and they were mentioning neutrons and atoms and hydration and things I didn't know. And I was just there. I had to read and read and read because otherwise they will not allow me to do the PhD. You end there. So I had to audit courses with the MPhil students. It wasn't easy. It gave me headaches. And at that time too, I wasn't that young. I was in my 40s. So you could imagine.
Were there times that you wanted to give up?
I wanted to. I told a friend of mine I was going to pack my bags and leave. And then they said, you won't leave because they are waiting for you here. They are waiting for you to fail. So if you like, fail. So I had to stick in there to do it. Amidst all that, I did everything. But my supervisors, I must say, Professor Ibokudro and Professor Ellis, were very helpful. They were patient with me. They allowed me to go through all that. And finally, I got to defend my thesis. And the day I defended my thesis, I came out. Prof. Ellis has just handed over as the Vice Chancellor. I said, congratulations, Doctor. I'm proud of you. The department is proud of you. Because now we can stand and say we took somebody from nowhere and she was able to. That is it. And so because of you, the gate is open. Anybody that wants to come in without that will take the person on. And tears were flowing. I was happy.
You've also had a ton of publications. And you, yes, you do. I couldn't even finish reading them on your CV. But I also realized that most of your publications focused on finding alternatives to food, in terms of finding local alternatives to what we are used to eating, local alternatives that are even healthier. So you've done something on wheat flour, soya bean, and something you call aerial yam.
Aerial yam.
Yeah.
It's a kind of yam predominantly in the northern region. It grows on top of twining leaves, but they are yams. They are very interesting. A lot of phytochemicals, a lot of things that it helps. It's yet to be certified though, because normally you are not supposed to give those health claims, but we know that it's good for menopausal women and other things. But that is what I'm working on. But my focus was the fact that these things existed and we're not eating them, except you go to them. Even when I did my service in the northern region, I never saw them. So when I was about to do my PhD, one of my colleagues, Dr. Adiza Sadiq from Tamale Technical University, who was also there with me again, said, there's this yam there. I said, let me look at it. I was fascinated. So I started looking at it. I said, wow, it is there. Nobody knows about it. And you could use them. You can just fix them into the existing products. So you can use them as French fries. You can mash them. You can,
really?
Yeah, you can pound them. You can do everything. So that got me thinking. Then I said, look, why are we wasting our time? Let's bring these things out. Let's add value to them. Let's characterize them by looking at what nutritional contents they have. What can we use them for in the food system?
Is that research still ongoing?
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
Okay.
It's still ongoing.
So how many publications do you have?
Oh, I have about 22 or so. I have 2 in the pipeline yet to come out now. And I have others. I'm coming from a background where research wasn't the thing. I mean, you go and do catering, who is looking at research? But I came to realize that if you don't research and know why you are adding this to this, you'll be killing people.
Are there some of these toxic combinations that you have identified already in terms of mixing foods?
For instance, I'm still working on some of them. I'm still trying to understand why they call melon, the melon we eat, a jealous fruit. We combine melon with a lot of fruits, but we are told no. You can't do that. And I'm trying to investigate and say why. There are some of the area yams, for instance, some of them you can cook with the skin on. And you get all the nutrients because the nutrients are right under the skin. We don't know. We peel all of them. Even with our yams that we so it means those days when our mothers were cooking the plantains and the yams with the peels on, they were doing the right thing.
They knew what they were doing.
They were doing the right thing.
But they didn't just
they didn't understand
it.
But they knew what they were doing.
Is there a reason why we don't have as much research in food as we should?
I think it's because we have not thought of standardizing our foods and opening it up for food tourism. Because if you are ready and you want to promote your food as part of the tourism package, you will do a lot of research and know how you can present them and what you do. Because a lot of things our grandmothers and mothers used to do that we didn't understand. We never asked questions. This is how I came to see it being done, so I do it. But if now you are interested in bringing it out, when you open it up for tourism, people will ask questions. and you know what to do with them. Look, when you go outside the country, for instance, I know of South Africa, when you go to the market, potatoes are there lined up. They tell you this one is for fries, this one is for mash, this one. But we over here, yam, we do anything. Any yam we can mash for, any yam we can fry. But even with our yams in Ghana, it's not all of them that you need to fry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do it regardless.
Aha.
Wow.
So you may do something today and you don't get the same result and you are wondering, well, maybe I added too much water. No, it's the behavior of that particular foods. And so this is what I intend to do finally when I'm out of the system. This is what I think I would have done.
And of course you would require support for something like this. Do you think support is also there for, food sciences to go into research and stuff like that?
To be frank with you, we don't have much. The research base in this country is poor. For book and research that they give us, I'll tell you, for research, they were giving us 500 Ghana. What can you do with 500 Ghana research? So most of the things we do it ourselves. I have students who have to do their projects. If I give them a project topic within my area of specialty, I may have to fund it myself. Yeah. So it makes it very difficult for you to work. The equipment are not there. They are very expensive. They simply are not there for you to. So if I want to work in the Polytechnic right now, I need to send my samples. I go to either UCC or go to food research in Accra or go to Kumasi and all that. Can you imagine? It affects so many things. Even deciding whether a certain flour, you've dried yam, you want to package it. What packaging is relevant and suitable for it? You have to do something we call moisture isotherm to determine under what condition, under what temperature. Wow. We don't have the machine. Because even if I want to do drying, I bring it out and calculate and put it back. There are many errors.
I can imagine, because then what we also see on the market is a lot of people or entrepreneurs going into local food service. They're packaging our local foods. But if they don't have this kind of knowledge or even get people like you to help them, then we can only imagine what we're doing to ourselves.
It's for everybody to know. Yes. And that is what we are saying. Now before you even draw up a curriculum, you are supposed to work with industry. We are asking that industry will be ready to give us questions. Instead of us picking questions, project topics and doing it by ourselves, when we finish it on the shelf. But if industry, those who are into food manufacturing, packaging food would come to us, look, we want to do this, can you do it for us? Then they support us with the funds. We have the labs and all that. We do it and give it to them. When you go to South Africa and other, that's what they do.
We hope they are listening. We hope
but
so. Outside of food and beverages, how do you think the hospitality industry is doing?
I think it's doing well. Now, when you enter, you can find people who are educated within the hospitality working there. It didn't used to be so. And we are hoping that very soon, even within our own local chobbers and things, we also have people. Because they think that, well, I can't get anybody to do any cooking, so it's okay. Because you need money to pay people. And that is where the problem is. But I think gradually people will begin to understand some of these. If industry is part of the curriculum that we are drawing up, why not? They will support you.
You're full of knowledge. And I hope you at home know why we call her a phenomenal lady. But there's something that's outside of education, something that is outside of education. We've been talking about education since we began. What do you do for fun?
Now I don't even know what I do for fun. I just watch films. But I do a lot of work. I used to play hockey, but now I can't.
Goodness. How far back?
That was Accra Poly days. The late Professor Mills and all those who used to, they were in one team, we were also in one team and all those that,
You played hockey with the former president?
He was in one team, I was in another team, so we met anyway.
Let's take a look at the DIY segment where we get to hear and know some of the interesting things that Professor Sanful engages in when she's not impacting our lives.
Hello, you are welcome to my DIY session. I'm going to teach you how to prepare a simple smoothie, green smoothie. We are going to have some bananas. You have a little chopped ginger. We have our wheat bread, whole meal bread, and then we have our normal dandelions. To begin with, we would cut the bread. You need all the crust. We'll put that into our blender. You should ensure that your hands are very well washed so that you don't introduce any microorganisms. Then we have our dandelions. You just pick them as you want them. I'm just going to quickly cut them up. So you can add your ginger and then your bananas. And just peel them. We cut them up. We add them. We'll add water. So we'll start blending to see how it goes. So we are done with our green sauce. And that is your green sauce. Thank you so much for watching my DIY session.
That was our DIY segment, and I absolutely want to taste that drink. Prof, tell us, what drink was that?
A green drink, that's what I'll call it. It's made up from brown bread, banana, and dandelion.
And it has the appropriate chemical composition.
Yes. You know, now most people don't want to eat in the morning because the dieting or something. It's not good for your brain not to eat in the morning. So what you can do is have just this drink and very filling. You have it, a glass of it, and you are good to go.
Prof, let's talk about Aglow. How did you become a member of Aglow?
Some years, but that was 8 years ago. My final year students have to do something we call their events. And so normally I have to give them a test for them to interpret. So for one of the groups, I asked them to do a breakfast meeting for Aglow. So they went, you have to make it real. So they went to see Mrs. Khan. She was ready to come with the Aglow people. These people cooked and we did everything. So after they have done everything, then she invited and said, why would you want to start Aglow? I said, why not? So that is how it all started.
And for people who do not know Aglow, what is Aglow?
Aglow is a network of caring ladies. We come together to pray, most often for our nation, and then to look at women. You know, women, we have a whole lot of challenges. We hold one another up, we pray together, we do all kind of things. And one of the things that we constantly bring into also counsel our young ones as well.
Which means the prayer is an important part of
For
your
me,
life.
it is. I eat prayer because that is what holds me.
I eat prayer. I like that. We should make a shirt out of that. For young people who are watching you and are loving your story and perhaps want to be like you, what would you say to them? What is that thing or things that have kept you going to this point?
For me, I think 1 is God. 2 is my determination. Because for a woman, most especially, it's difficult. You have them coming against you when you want to rise. The men will like to press you down. Even your own women will fight you. But you must know what you want and push forward. I won't tell you it was easy or it's going to be easy. It won't be. But if you know exactly what you want, you plan. You need to know exactly what you want to do, where you want to get to, and what are the actions you need to take. Sometimes you are not able to, but then fix your mind there. Know that this is what I want to do, no matter what, I want to get there.
And that's why you're a phenomenal lady. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Before
for having me.
Before we let you go, we have this we do. We present this to our guests, our phenomenal ladies who grace our studios with their presence and their stories. And so I'll do the symbolic touch to hand it over to you. You also do the symbolic touch to receive. If you don't, it means you don't like our presence. So here you go, Professor. This is all yours.
Thank you so much.
And we're absolutely thrilled that you could come here to share your story with us. But the reason I'm putting my things down is because I have another one for you right here. It has your name at the bottom, and this is for somewhere special in your home or in your office, so that anytime that you're having that very tough moments, which we all do, you can take a look at something around, and it may be this one. We hope it is, and you will remember that you're a phenomenal lady. So here's to you, Professor. It's a beautiful present that we give to all our guests. Yes, the PL show.
Thank you
see
so
that?
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for coming. You may take a seat now.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate what you're doing for the hospitality industry and food and beverages as well. I don't think that I have had a conversation with anybody in the food science industry or education like I have with you, and I have learned so much in such a short time, and I hope that the people who take decisions will take some of the important things that you have said into consideration and minimize how much we poison ourselves in the name of food. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it, but it's real.
Sure.
And that's why we appreciate people like you. So thank you
so
for
much.
coming.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you too for watching us today, spending your Sunday afternoon with us here on this channel. This has been the PL Show, and my name is Keminni Amanor. The PL Show is brought to you by the Kel toothpaste brands, Kel Kits, Kel 360, and Kel Charcoal. And my costume is by Healy's Boutique. You find her in Jawulu. She has an exquisite clothing there, and you could pick up one for yourself, or more than one maybe. My name is Keminni Amanor. I'll see you same time next week. Goodbye.
Love is sweet, pass sobolo, sobolo, so love is sweet, K-O-E-I, Odona Kama commemorate, paint, smile, mami, janshi, faint, kron radio, saint, on pento kwa kasa ne complaint, bay, you know they give me pressure.